Episode 6: The Release. The episode opens with the soft rustling of leaves as the bandit camp wakes to the morning light. Kira, still weighed down by the emotional exchange with Ren, stands alone near the fire, deep in thought. She knows the time has come for a decision, one that might change the course of their fates forever. She watches from a distance as Ren is led out of the tent, his hands no longer bound. The tension between them is palpable, the unspoken words of their previous encounters hanging in the air. As the bandits stand around, their leader Haru gives Kira a curious glance, sensing something has shifted between her and the captive. "You sure about this, Kira?" he asks, his tone cautious. Kira nods, though doubt flickers in her eyes. "It's time to let him go," she says, her voice firm but strained. She had hoped Ren's freedom might mend the rift between them, but deep down, she knows the release won't change his feelings. Ren, for his part, is silent, his gaze never leaving the path ahead. The camp, once a prison, is now behind him, but the weight of his anger remains. His steps are slow and measured as he walks out of the bandit stronghold, but the memory of Kira's vulnerability lingers in his mind, causing a pang of uncertainty. Still, his resentment drives him forward. As Ren walks deeper into the mountain pass, the distant sounds of the camp fade into the background, replaced by the eerie silence of the wilderness. His thoughts are consumed by the bitterness of his captivity, but there's an uneasy feeling gnawing at the edge of his awareness. Suddenly, the quiet is broken by a low, guttural growl that echoes through the rocky terrain. Ren stops in his tracks, his heart pounding as he surveys the landscape. The path ahead is shrouded in mist, and the trees that line the mountain pass seem to close in around him. His hand instinctively reaches for his sword, a sense of dread settling in his chest. The ground beneath him trembles slightly, and from the shadows of the towering cliffs, a massive creature emerges. Its hulking form is unlike anything Ren has ever seen, a twisted, monstrous figure with jagged fangs and glowing red eyes that pierce through the mist. The beast lets out a deafening roar, shaking the very earth beneath Ren's feet. Ren's eyes widen in horror as he takes in the full size of the creature. Its powerful limbs and sharp claws make it clear that this is no ordinary foe. For a brief moment, Ren is paralyzed by fear, but his instincts kick in. Drawing his sword, he braces himself for the fight of his life. The beast lunges at him with terrifying speed, its claws slashing through the air. Ren barely manages to dodge, the force of the attack sending him tumbling across the ground. He scrambles to his feet, panting as he sizes up his opponent. "This can't be happening," he mutters under his breath, the reality of his situation sinking in. He may have escaped the bandits, but now he faces a foe far deadlier than anything he's ever encountered. Ren fights valiantly, his sword flashing in the dim light as he parries the creature's relentless attacks. But it quickly becomes clear that he is outmatched. The beast's strength and speed are overwhelming, and every blow Ren lands seems to do little more than anger it further. Just as Ren is knocked to the ground, the beast towering over him with its claws raised for the killing blow, a sharp whistle cuts through the air. The creature hesitates, its head snapping toward the source of the sound. From the shadows, Kira emerges, her eyes locked on the beast. Without a word, Kira charges forward, her Kai-infused sword glowing with a brilliant light. She moves with a grace and speed that Ren has never seen before, her strikes precise and powerful. The beast roars in fury, but Kira holds her ground, her chi energy enveloping her in a protective aura. Ren watches in awe as Kira battles the creature, her movements a blur of power and agility. For the first time, he sees her not as a bandit, but as a warrior, someone who has faced countless dangers in the unforgiving mountains. Despite her skill, the fight is brutal. The beast's strength is formidable, and even Kira struggles to keep it at bay. The two fighters are evenly matched, and every blow exchanged sends shockwaves through the mountain pass. As the battle rages on, Ren finds himself unable to remain a passive observer. With a renewed sense of purpose, he picks up his sword and charges back into the fray, fighting alongside Kira. Together, they strike in tandem, their Kai energies combining to push the creature back. But the beast is relentless, and just as it seems they might gain the upper hand, it launches a devastating attack, its claws slashing across Kira's side. She stumbles, blood spilling onto the rocky ground, and Ren's heart stops. "Kira!" Ren yells, rushing to her side. The beast, sensing weakness, rears back for another attack, its glowing eyes locked on its wounded prey. The episode ends with Ren standing protectively over Kira, his sword raised as he faces the monstrous foe. The battle may not be over, but Ren's hatred for Kira is momentarily overshadowed by his will to survive, and by the realization that, despite everything, They now stand united against a common enemy.